Ilian and Cora had grown up under the same sky, in a quiet coastal village where everyone knew each other's names and mistakes. Their bond was older than memory. Childhood games turned into teenage schemes and eventually into a friendship. Others envied. Ilian, the orphaned son of a sailor. Cora, the daughter of the village keeper, destined to inherit her father's title. They used to meet under the old ash tree near the cliffs, a silent, crooked sentinel that had seen more secrets than any living soul. That's where they made a promise, one summer evening bathed in amber light. No matter what, Cora had whispered, her hand in his, we choose each other first. Ilian had nodded. He never forgot those words. But Cora did. Years passed. The village changed. So did they. Cora grew into her role, leading the village council, managing trade routes, overseeing disputes. Ilian became a scout, guiding ships through the foggy straits. He remained loyal, but always in her shadow. Then the trouble came. A ship went missing, one carrying vital supplies. Whispers of piracy swirled like mist. The council grew suspicious, and someone quietly suggested that Ilian, with his unmatched knowledge of the routes, might have led it astray. He denied it, of course. He waited for Cora to defend him. She didn't. Instead, she brought forward a sealed scroll, his handwriting, a map, a route. Proof, she claimed, that he'd been paid to mislead the ship. He stared at her in the council chamber, eyes wide, heart twisting. He hadn't drawn that map. Cora, you know I didn't do this. But her gaze never softened. I'm sorry, Ilian. We must protect the village. They exiled him the next morning. No trial. No goodbye. The ash tree stood silent as he passed. It for the last time. For weeks he wandered, bitterness gnawing at him, but grief eventually gave way to clarity. Something was wrong. And Ilian, despite the betrayal, still cared for the village more than the people who had turned on him. So he returned, quietly. Hidden in the woods, he watched the harbor, spoke to merchants, listened, and he uncovered the truth. It hadn't been pirates. It had been Cora. She had struck a deal with a private crew, selling the ship's cargo in exchange for power, for gold to fund her re-election as keeper. And the forged map? Her father's seal was still burned into the wax. Ilian gathered the evidence, not for revenge, but for truth. On the night of the village's spring gathering, he stepped into the firelight, cloaked in shadow. The crowd froze. Cora's face went pale. He said nothing at first, just laid the letters, the seal, the truth, at her feet. And then, quietly, you said we'd always choose each other first. She didn't speak, didn't deny, didn't cry. The council removed her from power, but Ilian didn't stay to watch her fall. Now the ash tree still stands, bent, weathered, watching, and sometimes travelers say they see a man beneath it, writing, into the wind, telling stories no one else remembers, because betrayal doesn't always end in anger. Sometimes it ends in silence, and the promise never spoken again.